Hello everyone and a big warm welcome to all of you.
The lady who's brought us all together is the Sherni herself, Vidya Balan.
Welcome, Latika Nath. Madhuri Thakur.
Cassandra Nazareth. Ratna Singh.
Surabhi Rai.
Veta Bodhi. Vidya, big congratulations. Your movie, Sherni, released this June on Amazon Prime Video. How are you feeling at this point of time?
Thank you, Mandira. It feels wonderful. The overwhelmingly positive response has been very heartening. I'm so grateful. I'm so excited. And the kind of messages people have been sending me, it's like, you know, long sagas about how they felt about the tigress and her cubs, and about sexism at the workplace, and about conservation and wildlife. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, everything that the film touched upon has touched people, and I'm so grateful for that.
And we're so glad that you did, because it was such a beautiful performance as well, so underrated yet so strong. The movie deals with so many issues, right from, you know, forest conservation to sexism. What was your biggest takeaway from the film?
You know, my biggest takeaway, honestly, is that one, this film has redefined a strong woman for me, because in the media we've begun to recognize a strong woman as an aggressive woman. I think this film helped me realize that you don't have to roar to be a tigress. You can be a tigress nonetheless.
You know, on that note, Madhuri, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ, आप you're one of two सफारी ड्राइवर्स, राइट? वहाँ पे आपने कभी ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस किया है कि लोग आपको देखते हैं और बोलते हैं कि आप चला पाओगी?
हाँ, जब गेस्ट को लेकर जाते हैं तो फर्स्ट टाइम वो जब हमको देखते हैं तो बोलते हैं कि क्या आप सच में ड्राइव कर पाओगी? सर बस आप लोग बैठिए, फिर जब हम वापस आएंगे तब आप देखिएगा, और जब हम वापस आएंगे तब आप हमें बताइएगा क्या सच में ड्राइव कर पाए या नहीं।
तो आपका एक्सपीरियंस